Welcome to the Peachtree Podcast. Peachtree Learning Center is a nonprofit in Middle Tennessee dedicated to training and discipling students in all the fine arts to become excellent and skilled in order to spread the kingdom of God into the world of the arts. On this podcast, we will discuss topics designed to encourage, uplift, educate, and equip people to proclaim the kingdom more deeply in their own families and communities. Hello, and welcome again to our podcast. Thank you for joining us here. We've just come out of a week that included our spring show, which around here is a big deal. We include all of our performing arts classes in one big performance somewhere towards the end of our spring semester. And actually this year we broke off our drama classes and they did not perform with us. They're having their own performances at the end of this month. But the reason for that is that we just have so many performers that have things to share. We really also wanted our two drama classes to have the experience of putting on their an entire performance themselves. So our Drama 1 class, that goes up to about 12 years old, is performing an entire play themselves. And our Drama 2 class is also going to do that. Our older students, I think 13 and up is about that age group, are going to do a pretty powerful serious drama at the end of this month. And that's the first time we've had that kind of performance opportunity for that class specifically. But we believe that those students are ready for that. They've had a couple of years of seasoning. Most of them have been in our program for a couple of years, and they've gotten really tight as a group and are ready to take on that challenge. So we're very excited about that for them. And then it just always makes me reflect. We get to this part of our semester and look back over the school year, and I got to adding up all the number of performances and opportunities to be out in the community that we actually have here at Peachtree. So it's a fine arts center, and we definitely have classes and lessons that happen every week. But then we try to take all of that outside the walls. So we have a week of recitals in the spring, and we have added an advanced recital in the fall for all of our private lesson people. And then we have a spring show, as I mentioned. We also have an art show that happens for a couple of days in the spring. At Christmas, we have open houses, and we have a Christmas concert for our older classes. We have dance opportunities, and then we've had opportunities come to us from the community that allow us to go out and take groups and also single performers and go into the community and perform. We've been at the county fair. We've been at craft fairs. We've been at events in Cookeville on the stages in the square area and downtown. We've been to nursing homes. We've been to the hospital. We've been to lobbies of businesses. We've also been into small businesses with private students that only need one, that maybe the business only has room for one or two students, and we've put a student or two into that space and let them play. And those are all ways that we have just found to let those performing-based classes and lessons use what they've learned to bless other people. And that's really the heart of it. And what I wanted to speak to is kind of the nuts and bolts of Peachtree. We are definitely about teaching excellence and perseverance and endurance, and also quality music and art and dance and drama, and learning now how to compose and write our own music and write our own songs. But all of those things lead us to performance. And why is that important? Well, we're definitely not about feeding egos and feeding people who will become divas someday. And we're not about that at all. We're not about building you up to make you feel like you're, a very important performer in the world. But what we are about is equipping students as they go forth from our space into the world to be able to speak well of themselves, to be able to carry themselves well, to be able to look people in the eye up close and far away, to be able to be in a public space and yet feel still in their spirit because they know they're equipped to be there and they have something important and valuable to say or to perform. Some of our people will go on to be performers, and they will certainly have training in those skill sets. But just the value that comes from portraying a character and finding empathy in that, and being able to express that in a way that other people can catch it, or being able to understand a song or an instrument so well that you can communicate through it powerful feelings and powerful emotions that provoke other people to enjoy beauty and experience truth through music, which is a universal language they can take anywhere. Those are powerful tools that we hope to put in students' tool chests so that they can go out and proclaim kingdom where they go with those things. And even if they don't become musicians or don't become artists, they know what it feels like to have created a piece of art and watch other people receive it, and sometimes not receive it the way it was intended. That's a very hard lesson to learn, but how amazing to be able to learn it as a student and learn it in an environment that will help you see that through a kingdom-based lens. And while you're at home with your family, versus having to learn that as a single or at least an adult out in the world in a hard worldly situation and have that beat you down. To be able to learn that kind of lesson in a space like Peachtree, I think is almost invaluable for students. It's a very important tool to be able to have as you go forth as an adult, to be able to give of yourself and not expect necessarily that it's going to be received perfectly or it's even going to be performed perfectly, but to know that you did your best and that your best given to the Lord is always enough. That's a huge tool to put in someone's toolbox as a child. And that's one reason we do all the things we do. The performances certainly usually pay for themselves. We've been taking sponsors because we've been trying to upgrade the way we put those performances together and have better sound equipment and all, lights and all the things. But we also provide those opportunities to give our students a chance to stand up and do these things in small groups and make connections with each other through music and through dance and through drama. And then our art classes also with their art show, they see groupings of pieces of art, and they also see what other people did and how other classes interpreted the same project and those kinds of examples, as well as coming to recitals and seeing other people perform. Those all help you feel like a part of a community and you become part of something bigger than yourself. And that's also a valuable lesson to learn as part of an ensemble or part of a choir or part of a handbell group or part of a music class that performs. Those are all places that your child can learn how to be part of a team. And it is very similar to a sports team, except that you get to use a currency that's going to be around for eternity. You're going to be performing music in heaven before the throne of God. And being able to do that here also just brings kingdom to bear a little bit fresher and maybe in a little bit deeper way. And being able to create as an artist in a worshipful setting is something that you will be doing again. You will keep that skill set forever. So those are all kind of thoughts about why we do some of the things we do. We're definitely excited about our weekly classes and lessons, but we also know that most of that has a bigger purpose, and we'd like for every purpose possible to be served and explored while they're under our care. So this is kind of why we do the shows we do. It's always a little bit inconvenient for the day or two of the show week to have extra practices and a little bit extra time investment. And sometimes there's costumes involved that you have to go track down. But really, at the end of the day, when we come together and we perform that show, it's a very powerful tool for outreach. It's also a powerful tool for inreach. And I just see students loving each other. I see our older students taking care of younger students in the hallway. We have alumni that come back and help us and aid us in crowd control and staging, and they're backstage helping us get students on and off and getting them clothed and changed. And it's just such a community building experience as well as an outreach experience. It's just a powerful tool that we use to really include all of our families in building something that is bigger than ourselves. So thank you to everyone who's listening who helped make that show come together this week, and thank you to everyone who will be helping us as we finish our semester with other performances we have coming. And if you are new to Peachtree and you kind of didn't understand what the point of all that was, I'm hoping that this will bless you a little bit with more perspective on that. And please plan to come to other performances we have, even if your child's not there. We love having all of our families involved in what we're doing. And I send you forth with that. Just think about that this week. Hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll look forward to seeing you at our next show. Thank you so much for joining us today. To support this podcast, please go follow us on your podcast platform of choice. And if you're interested in knowing more about the work of Peachtree, please go visit our website at peachtreelearningcenter.com for more information.